98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join 𝐴괤ᴜ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial. Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you in next as we discuss the situations.
You know you can do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because he is properly dressed. And you think he's a Yahoo boy? You don't even have to assault that citizen whom you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes, we understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home, that you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from mainland 98.3 FM, we implore you to do better. We love you and we support you always.
It's a very beautiful evening to you. Welcome to the Situation Room live on mainland 98.3 FM. First off, apology for starting a bit behind our normal time. I was just trying to, fully establish contact with our guest that will be joining us on the show via phone today. He's an investment banker, he's a public affairs analyst, and he's also a social commentator. Well, we want to look at the issues surrounding the back and forth between Dangote and NNPC Limited. Ideally, you would expect that from all of the things that surrounded the setting up of the refinery, the way the government made it look like, oh, that was going to be the end to all of the problems we have with availability and the pricing of petroleum products in Nigeria. Last week Wednesday, when the CEO of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, addressed that world press conference, where they rolled out the first set of supplies for the premium motor spirit from the Dangote refinery, and a lot of people appreciated it. Felt like, hey, you know what, we've gotten to that point where there's no going back. All of the supplies will be in the market. By the way, the refinery has a production capacity of about 650,000 barrels per day. So ideally you would expect that once the Port Harcourt refinery also come upstream, hopefully it will this September, because that's going to be about the 6th time that that conversation on that refinery coming up had been postponed. Started off with July. In 2023, it was moved to September, later January, then March, then August, now September. Hopefully, before the end of the month. It's still early though. Today is the 9th day of September. So we still have about maybe 21 days or thereabouts for them to fix it and bring it upstream. But there's just been so much around who is going to dictate the price. NNPC Limited is also a privately owned company, even though the government still retains some percentages of ownership. But a lot of conversation around who dictates the price for Dangote, and I feel like we've had of the table conversation around it. Maybe you should bring in experts that could help us understand some of these things. I was talking to my guest earlier today, and then we talked about the issue of supply and demand. It looks like our own kind of economy is different. It looks like we have a way of defining our own style of economy. Well, before I connect to my guest, I also want to believe that you had a good weekend. Yes, I had a really good weekend. Yesterday was the first year birthday of my godson, 𝐴𝐴. So, I mean, it was a time for the family to come around again and, spend quality time in the midst of all of these, chaos, the economic drama and all of that. I mean, we had time, spend almost the entire, day with the family, just celebrating, the young boy that had been a source and bundle of joy to every member of my family. So once again, I say happy birthday to you, 𝐴𝐴. Smart boy. I mean, for a 1-year-old, he was so calm all through yesterday. And a big shout out to, King Weezy and your mom, Temilade. Happy birthday to you once again. That was literally what just made up my weekend. Apart from the fact, of course, football is back. And hey, we've got so much for you by 6 o'clock today. A lot of people predicted the scoreline between Nigeria and the Benin Republic, and funny enough, about 10 people got the right predictions. In fact, some people got the names of the people that will score the goals and the exact number of goals they will score. That was crazy. Remember that Promise 𝐴𝐴 also joined us. That's the media officer of the Super Eagles, and he said they will score over 2 goals, and that's what happened. So we have all of our winners will be contacted by 6 o'clock, but that will be on Sports Cruise. Let's get back into the conversation. There's no gainsaying the fact that petrol is a defining factor in Nigeria. Every single one is affected one way or the other. Whether you run your personal business, whether you run your business at a small scale, as a large scale, one way or the other, if it's not affecting you directly, it's affecting your staff, it's affecting everyone having 1 or 2 things with you, the people supplying raw materials to you, your drivers. There's no how you want to escape it. Even if you don't leave your house, even if you don't have a car, even if you are always operating within the space where you feel like, I don't use public transport. But hey, if you don't have electricity supply, you have to buy petrol. On Saturday night, I bought 15 liters for 16,500. That's at the rate of 1,100 per liter. And I said there was a time where, you have to spend about 2,000. I will buy you 10 liters at 180 naira. That's 1,800 naira would buy you 10 liters. 2,000 naira can barely buy you 2 liters now, depending on what part of the country you stay. Because I heard that in some part of the country they've been buying petrol for 1,300 way before all of the establishing what we threw last week. And there were quite more transactions will be done. Probably crude will be sold in naira. Of course, distribution is basically about the availability. I was out on Thursday morning with a couple of friends, and we're relating people around Ikeja axis. And one of the things that we found out is that, hey, you know what? The people are even ready to buy this commodity. I mean, as bad as this may sound, but Nigerians always have a quick way of adapting and readjusting to some unpleasurable situation. See, when this stuff started off with 600, Nigerians were complaining. After about a week, everybody went to their normal business. We started buying the product. It moved to 855 or thereabout. People complain, it's too much, this and that. We went back again. We continued buying it. So people are even begging, even at the rate of 1,000. Stop making us spend time on the queue. Stop making us spend the most productive time of the day being on the queue looking for this product. Even if it is expensive, help us make it available. I don't know how good that sounds, but the most important thing is that Nigerians always have a way of adapting. So people don't even care how expensive it is now. It's basically about, oh, if you used to on generator for 2 hours before, you cut it to 1 hour. Whatever it is you want to do, you want to charge your smart devices, you want to do whatever it is, charge it up, put off the gen, and sleep very well. Whatever it is, thank God we are almost around the rainy season right now, so the weather is not exactly as hot as it should be at the other part of the year. But I'm just saying, even though I don't like the fact that Nigerians have to adapt to some of these unfortunate situations, because we could have a better life, we could live a better way, we could, add more value to the people that put their lives on the line to fight for this country that we have right now, which is the citizens. So, but be that as it may, we've gotten to that point where the conversation around subsidy to be or not to be seems to be a thing of the past. Now we don't even know the position of the government. We don't know how much we spend every month on subsidy. They say if we sell at the landing cost, we're going to be buying at 1.5. So is government truly subsidizing? But don't forget that the genesis of all of this problem was when the president announced the removal of subsidy right there at Igbosco on the 29th of May 2023, while he was reading his acceptance speech after being sworn in as a president. Everything changed from there. Our lives changed, our ways of survival adjust to these measures. What have been your survival skills? You needed to hear what people were saying. Some schools and take them to less expensive schools. And that's the fact. Maybe the quality is good or not is a talk for another day. But the most important thing is that people are going through a lot of stuff just to survive. And in the midst of all of these, they're still looking for ways to keep body and soul together. Then there's banditry somewhere. There's insurgents somewhere. I read somewhere in the papers today that one of the leaders of the bandits in Zamfara had reduced the demand from 50 million to 30 million for the people to be able to access their farms. So they had to set up more like a cooperative where they now contribute money together, group of farmers, and then they will go give it to the bandits before they are allowed to access their own farm produce. How do you explain all of this in a country where we spend trillions of naira on security or fighting insecurity from 2011 to where we are right now? How do you explain some of these issues? But it's still something that Nigerians have found. There's hunger, and hunger is a Nigerian problem. It is not a south-south problem. It is not a middle belt problem. It is not a north-central, northwest problem. It's a Lagos problem. It's a Bayelsa problem. It's a Kano problem. It's a Rivers problem. Everybody is feeling it. And what is that singular thing? It is petrol. It is the cost goes up and everything also skyrockets. The cost of commodities in the market skyrockets. How many people with a tuber of yam that goes for maybe 4,000 naira, how many families can send by it? So what happens at that time of the year where things naturally go up? I think these are some of the issues that the government would really need to help us look into. I'm going to take a very quick break, and I'll try to connect with Mr. 𝐴𝐵 Kássídíkù, who is my guest today. Like I said, he's an investment banker, public affairs analyst, and he will help us understand some of this. I remember the last time he was with us on the show, he expressed some kind of pessimism in respect to what change, if any, the Dangote refinery would make. And now it is all up on our faces. When the refinery was not upstream, we're still buying for 8 something, 7 something, 850, depending on where you are. Now that the refinery had come upstream, in the last 5 days, the price have gone from 850 something to 1,001, 1,002. Is truly the Dangote refinery a game changer, or it is just an issue of politics? However way you look at it, Mr. Oscar will help us understand some of these things on the show today. Well, tomorrow we'll assess some of the key takeaways from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's visit to China. Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about on the show tomorrow. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, my guests will be available and then we'll start the conversation. It's Mainland 98.3 FM and this is the Situation Room.
Oga Police. No worry, I see you. You know you can do the right thing, right? You know you can do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because he is properly dressed. And you think he's a Yahoo boy? You don't even have to assault that citizen whom you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes, we understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home, that you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from mainland 98.3 FM, we implore you to do better. We love you and we support you always.
Things seems anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
In our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build
to the plight of these people and leave.
Last elections gave the citizens the chance to make their political decisions. Constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Sɪᴛᴜᴜ should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join 𝐴꿼 as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial. Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you in the next as we discuss the situations.
Welcome back and thank you so much. My guest is here with us. He's an investment banker. He's also a public affairs analyst. And like I said, the last time he was on the show, I asked him how much of a game changer he thinks the Dangote refinery would be, and well, he was quite positive, but he was more pessimistic, and he was like, okay, you know what, it's a big deal, but it depends on how the government takes it and the policies that comes with the refinery coming upstream that will determine how much of a game changer it will be. Now I have to reach back because since last week Wednesday, when the CEO of the Dangote Group addressed that world press conference, and then they displayed the first rollout of the premium motor spirit from the refinery, a lot of things are changed between that period. I mean, the price of the commodity, the availability, the old drama between NNPC, all this man, and let him open things up for us. What kind of economy do we run in Nigeria? Is it still the basic of demand and supply, or we have a economic situation in our in our hands that we're dealing with? Yes, that's a new word I just coined. Mr. Oscar Olayinka, good evening. Welcome to the Situation Room live on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Thank you very much for having me, Okoyemi. Good afternoon to our audience.
Yeah, we're all here. We're all listening to you. I'm looking forward to one of the days you will join us live in the studio. And I assure you that your next visit into Lagos, I'm certainly going to hijack you. I remember a couple of months back, when you joined us on the show, I asked you as one of your parting shot, and I said, how much of a game changer would the Dangote refinery coming upstream be in terms of, the economic situation, in terms of availability and pricing of the premium motor spirits? We know that Dangote have been supplying the Jet A1 and diesel since about January of 2024, but the PMS affect everybody directly or indirectly. You have a car, you don't have a car, you have a generator, you don't have a generator. It's everybody's problems. How much of a game changer now do you think this refinery would be going forward?
Okay, brilliant question as usual. What of the people supposed to when they are definitely because we have our crude that are now being refined locally, so automatically supply will increase. What we don't expect to see is demand going down. Demand is supposed to also increase with supply, given the market changes that we expect. But supply has increased and demand has gone down, and that's the discussion of price. Then in our comes to the to the part where we are, who determine the price of fuel in Nigeria? Is it NNPC or is it Dangote?
Alhaji Dangote that of the product. A lot of people were even saying, "Oh, it's white. It looks like what?" From last, even Aliko Dangote, quite a lot of things. Oh, there are reports that NNPC Limited will be the sole buyer from Dangote, and NNPC will dictate the price. They're also saying that NNPC says Dangote cannot sell higher than this and that. Before we get into the subsidy conversation, how confusing!
Yeah, it's conceivable. In this segment of the business, you have one who is monopolizing the capacity to direct the proceeds from crude. Then you have another one who is supposed to serve as an optical. This optical now refines the crude and resell. Now both parties have to work together. One cannot survive without the other. What it means is that one is more powerful than the other, because one regulates the market, the other to determine to an extent what becomes the pricing that they will take. But also you look at it, it's a deregulated market. It means that the NNPC, and that's what return or return on investment. It will not make sense that it goes out to go and get this crude. So it's available in terms of money for logistics and other things. Dangote would rather buy from Nigeria. So the difference now is that NNPC would look at what they can do to partner with Dangote Refinery in order for everything to work smoothly. Dangote Refinery is a sole business, an entity that is into business to make profit. Maximization of profit is what Dangote would use to determine his business. Dangote business would not sell to Nigerians at 1,000 or below 1,000 and go and sell internationally at, let's say, 1,800 or 1,600. If the theory of demand and supply, the way we expect, we are starting a mixed economy. You were asking if this was a capitalist economy or a mixed economy. This is a purely mixed economy. It is guided by the principles and theories of capitalism and socialism. What that means is that both private companies and public businesses, right, we are the one that is owned by government outrightly or by way of commercialization, are being, that there's a kind of synergy between the private company and public businesses. They determine what happens in the business environment in terms of regulation, in terms of business and other form of SME. So in this sense, Dangote, I want to make it go on record that Dangote cannot survive without NNPC. It may survive for some time, but the longevity and the growing concern of Dangote's business without NNPC is too fragile. And they cannot do it anywhere, but we'll still come back to this conversation that can they will Dangote business readily take from the next door, or Dangote business will go as far as Brazil, United States, or United Arab Emirates, go and pick crude. So Dangote business, if that answers the question.
So, I mean, it's if I get you well, Mr. Olayinka, it's almost a case of when the president announced the removal of subsidy. I mean, it literally with 10 pumps, they're selling with only one. The queues got so long, the prices went up, some closed up, some came back. It's just been a collection of a whole lot of things in the last 1 year. But in fairness, how much more do you think the government needs to come into this when it comes to the issue of subsidy? If you're saying that Dangote cannot sell more than a certain amount of money based on the fact that his business is a private business, he has the right to dictate his own prices, then how do you think the government should come in all of this? when the president talked about the fact that subsidy is gone and there's going to be reinvestment of such, the people are asking, now more money are going to the governors, more monies are going to the various states, but nothing is being shown for it. Should the subsidy go back, since it looks like the increase in the price of PMS is what is affecting everybody? The result of removal of subsidy and reinvestment of same is not having any effect on the people. Public infrastructures are not still in a good place. Public transport system is not effective. There are still security challenges everywhere. People are literally struggling to survive. Should we go back to an official position? And since Dangote is here,
now I think what you are talking about will come. I will answer that question in two forms, because everything that we're talking about today, I guess, will be surrounding pricing. That's what I guess. So if you are saying that government should restore subsidy, I have said on this program severally that the manner at which the federal government through President Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed subsidy in the first place is wrong. Facial removal of subsidy would have been the best thing to do. We would be able to study the market and see whether or not demand and supply can drive the business. Now, I have to be frank with you. You asked us to be frank. Okay, the forces of demand and supply is not what is driving the market.
So what is driving the market?
Okay, good question. Capitalists, you will get it. It is very difficult for you to be able to get what China or the Chinese inflation rate is as of today. It then means that the government or businesses through government can call what the inflation rate is, and that's what it is. So in this sense, it will be that we won't be able to say on here, okay, but let us pray for this country. And what we need to do is to also pray for Dangote to also have that socialist idea of capitalism.
Sorry,
we are not asking for.
Do you know how many times the refinery commissioning was moved? Do you know how many times he came out to even say, "Oh, I'm tired. My friends told me not to do this investment." Remember the old drama between the regulators and Dangote, where they said, "Oh, the quality of Dangote diesel is bad. Is refinery to see things by himself." So is this not asking for too much for someone that invested over $20 billion? Asking for too much, Mr. Olayinka?
Okay, great addition again. Great addition. But you see, Dangote is not in this business to make loss. I've mentioned that before. I don't know if you remember.
True.
He's not in this business to make loss. Dangote would do this business and he will make profit. And the only way Dangote can make profit in this business is to ensure that it's really, really competitive right now. It's like a monopoly for Dangote business right now. So there are so many other things that will come up for Dangote refinery to be able to survive. Dangote will never have been thrown to shambles. Agree with me. That is like a major loss that Dangote business analysts handle in this capitalist environment. Now that said, can government also subsidize this petrol? Government can exercise and wickedness for the federal government of Nigeria not to look into how to subsidize fuel for Nigeria.
So we're back to the issue of subsidy, Mr. Olayinka.
Yes, we are back to that conversation. But when I say reintroduce subsidy, I am not saying return subsidy back 100%. I'm careful to say that because as an economist, I understand that the budget has already been cut. But then I also remember as an economist that they can always come back for what we call deficit monitoring. So government can look at the opportunity that they have in budget budget deficit to raise more money to subsidize ordinary Nigerians that are going through pain and agony as we speak. I intentionally did not start with government. I started with Dangote so our listeners can know that government have also assisted Nigerians are buying dollars as at 645, 647. A certain, in fact, Dangote refinery was buying well below that amount. Okay, that is fairness. That is fairness. To expand, federal government through the CBN was there for him. So whatever that has come up now, we have refinery, and I pray this evening that God continue to bless Dangote refinery, bless Dangote himself, because he has done what government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria cannot do in 28 years. So God will expand that business and take that business to the next level. But he has to show the human face in that business. The tax holiday that have been granted to him, even in terms of land purchase, a lot of waivers and a lot of things went into that purchase. They overlook so many things for him to be able to establish that company things of a flow. They don't need good. Do you understand? They have to be able to subsidize those states first. It's not about subsidizing everybody in Nigeria compared to people in Ogun State who are close to that refinery, or Lagos State or your state. Those states have to be subsidized. It are fully encouraged to be able to enjoy from subsidy. So how can government provide subsidy? Two things. Government needs to pay MS daily. That's the first line of subsidy. So Dangote refinery to also assist Dangote to be able to do export seamlessly. When I mean seamlessly, is remove waivers on export for Dangote. It's a give and take thing. It's a give and take. If you give him waiver on export, you will be encouraged to be able to, subsidize ordinary Nigeria. By the time you subsidize, let's say even 10%, our government subsidize 40%. We can still buy for at 700, 600. And that's the first way to start. The second place to look, very importantly, the second place to look is to demystify this idea that Dangote has brought in a monopoly agenda. This monopolistic agenda that the federal government is portraying through the NNPC has to be stopped. We have to encourage Dangote to do what he wants to do for now, 300 naira. Because that's what he will be selling to the international market, and that's what he will sell for anybody that is different from his refinery. So we have the choice: do the first one or do the second one. The choice is to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mr. Olayinka, while you were talking, I was just putting my mind or putting myself in the shoes of Alhaji Aliko Dangote right now, listening to you talk on radio, saying that, you know what, after all of this stress, see, let me put this in context. There was a time when the refinery was under heavy construction. There were more than 200 cranes that were working at the site at the same time. As at that time, that was the largest construction site in the entire world. That's how much investment had gone into that refinery for it to come up. And it is easy to even put it side by side. If the federal government cannot fix an already existing refinery, whether the one in Warri, the one in Kaduna, the one got concessions left and right, and build up a refinery. First off, it should even be a shame that the government of a country, seen with a private individual that decided to set up his own refinery, that is a mid-normal. It's not even normal. You can't explain that, but that's not even what we're talking about today. So I'm Dangote, and then I put in all of the stress to have a social face. I'm expected to use my own business to augment for the failure of a government that could not fix their own refinery. Now, let me get back to you, Mr. Olayinka. You're an economist. You're an investment banker. So you hold both aces in the next question I'm going to ask you. And this is the question. If you happen to be Aliko Dangote, what would you rather do? He has the right to export. He can take the risk. Commodities to so many other countries that are looking for refined product to buy. Benin Republic, Niger, Chad, Sao Tome and Principe, Ghana, Cameroon. These are neighboring countries that would effortlessly embrace whatever you bring into them. What would you rather do, Mr. Olayinka Oscar?
See, without being emotional about all this, like you said, if it was a business, without transport, in any business that you embark upon as a private person, your first intention is to maximize profit, and that's why I insist that Dangote is a full-blown capitalist, and return on investment is the only thing that matters to him. So, if you ask Dangote, he can even sell fuel to 1,500 naira to Nigerians. He has the right. In fact, I remember I was talking to someone and I told the person that what is this for Nigeria? Demand. That's what we have. Demand is, do you have money to buy? If you have the money to buy, you buy. If you don't have the money to buy, you park your car and you use other means. What's the need for Dangote? Supply and pricing. He has the refinery determine how much supply it can make, then determine the prices that it can give. Then what's the need for NNPC? Regulation and policy. You see, these three people cannot survive outside each other. And that's how businesses work. If you are doing a business plan, the first thing you look at is outside your competition is the demand factor. They can try to boycott your product if it's too expensive. They allow you to sell it abroad. You can sell it to Niger and sell at 1,300, 1,400, whatsoever they want to sell. But the survival of the business, still rely on the local development of that business. If people around Dangote are not surviving and Dangote is exporting the product, do you think the business will last? The business will not last. So, Oᴑ̀yẹmí, a lot of things I can't tell you on radio, but I can tell you this for sure, that more than we need Dangote in Nigeria, Dangote needs us. Oᴑ̀yẹmí, do you know the population of Nigeria? Nigeria is a country of, people don't look at things the way economists look at it. And that's why they've been emotional about all these Dangote things. We have a country of more than 210
million people.
Active participation in the economic development. We have less than 70 million, of which 30% are below the age. But that is just on the side. Dangote needs Nigerians. Nigerians need Dangote. Forget about NNPC. NNPC is like a toothless dog in this matter. And that is the reason why it is very difficult for them to be able to regulate the price. Dangote intentionally will help you, but
you are making it difficult for him.
But really, do you think an individual who have less than 10% stake in the business can determine
how the entire business would run? True.
At times of maladministration, at times because of a lot of other mismanagement issues. Production refinery is supposed to be brewing forward by another 4 years. The loan that NNPC took, I don't even know if you remember, I made a post. I said, why will NNPC take the loan when we have a CBN? Do you remember I made that post?
You did.
I knew it was fishy, but it cannot stop now. Nigeria needs him more. Nigeria needs him to do more for them now to save, and Nigerians that we need to be safe. So he needed to remind himself of the advantages that he has earned from the federal government of Nigeria, whether through the past administration or through this administration. I mentioned tax holidays. I mentioned tax breaks, different of them. I mentioned waivers.
Even, of course, crude being sold to him in Naira.
In Naira, at the local rate. And they're going to go to speak. See, I told people, I said, if Dangote, that was about, I can't even remember the time now. If Dangote is going to come on stream, there's no way Dangote will sell oil at local price. It will not happen. Because it will affect the image of the company. It's a company, for God's sake, it's a conglomerate. This is a major business in Africa. Shareholders everywhere in the world. Everybody has stake in Dangote refinery. Everybody. Banks. So many people have stake in Dangote refinery. So the human face is what I am pleading with the company to. I think Dangote say, okay, because of the software that Nigeria are going through this time around, I am coming out to say I'm taking off, because I'm just coming out, I'm taking off 10% that I can now buy fuel at, let's say, 730 naira. Federal government now comes and say, okay, we are taking off 40%. You can now buy fuel at, let's say, for instance, 570, 560, 560 naira. Nigerians will be happy. So that's why I said in this curve, in this supply chain curve, everybody needs everybody. NNPC needs Dangote, Dangote needs Nigerians. Nigeria will not make loss if you sell food to the glass of Ben and Ben and other people abroad. I hope you know that. I hope you know that. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
We will not make loss. But let me just leave it at that.
Okay, I'm sure one would open the conversation. I'm sure a lot of people would, probably express some contrary opinion to. I totally understand where you're coming from. It's probably you're just bringing up the patriotism card into this conversation. Times are tough, the people are really suffering, and we know that all of the palliatives from rice, whether 40,000 per 50 kg, whatever it is that they are doing waiver on some, is still not making things better. It is as simple as this. The price of premium motor spirit comes down, the cost of transportation comes down, the cost of items, the market comes down, everything comes down. It's basically about saying there is that determining factor. Maybe we should even say PMS is the one controlling the country. I mean, it's safe to put it in that context. But Mr. Olayinka, now that we're in a very serious situation, the president is yet to convene a Federal Executive Council meeting, which I understand that there were big issues, that he went to conduct in China. But I also feel technology had made it easy. The president could have just conducted the Federal Executive Council meeting from China and speak to Nigerians from his cabinet or through the members of his cabinet. If we have to wait till the president comes back before they dictate price. So let me ask you, on the interim, what is the next fix now, and how prepared do you think Nigerians should be in the case that these prices don't come down? Mr. Olayinka, I bought 15 liters of petrol at 16,500 naira on Saturday night. That's at the rate of 1,100 per liter. Ordinarily, about 2 years ago, 1,800 naira would buy me 10 liters of petrol. Today, 1,800 naira cannot buy me 2 liters of petrol. All of this within the space of 18 months. A lot has changed. So, on the interim, what do you think should be the worst that Nigerians should prepare for? And on the part of the government, what do you think the government needs to do now to look for some quick fix in all of these, this conundrum that we found ourselves?
Okay, do you want honest answer?
Please, everybody wants the honest answer.
Nigerians should brace up for a tough time. What we are seeing right now is just what do you call it now? It's nothing compared to what is to come. We don't have the direct pricing strategy in this country. What we have is indirect price strategy. We allow everybody to call the price, and whatever they call, everybody just go by it and without any problem. So in a country like this, where governments have completely, no say in what prices are, how prices are determined, you should expect the worst case scenario. Now, how do I mean? And I don't mean to scare anybody just without having the figures right. Inflation rate has reduced by 0.8%. So we are looking at core inflation at 35 point something percent. Then food inflation at maybe 39%. Okay, I mean, within the next 2 weeks, that's 14 days. By the time we see the figures, from August, I'm not talking about September figure. By the time we see NBC figure from August, we would have seen food inflation rising to about 41 to 42%. And 1% is a lot when you come to inflation grading. True. The inflationary regression that we will experience, progression that we will experience in the next 14 days will be dire. Okay, you just spoke about how much you bought for, last week. The price is not coming down; it's going up. So what it means is that the prices of commodities will spiral. They will all go up. Transportation costs will be factored into pricing of every other thing that will be buying on the street. So food inflation will go up as much as, if not more than 42%. That's like a forecast right now for you. Then the core inflation rate should be around 36.7%.
That's up to 4. Yeah, I did.
Government, they provide an enabling environment for Dangote business to thrive. Do you understand? Maybe check the regulations and see what else can be added to that company to be able to do their business seamlessly. Maybe, just maybe, Dangote can now respond back to the board and say the federal government of Nigeria has added this onto us as an advantage.
So let us also give this in return.
Let us give back in return. Then the third thing, which nobody wants to hear, the likes of IMF, do not want to hear this. World Bank do not want to hear this. What do you call it? World Trade Organization does not want to. Nobody wants to hear this. And most economists will not agree with me, but I am insisting that the government needs to find the money by printing more money.
Here we go again.
Government, and I know this is going to be very, very controversial. But give me 2 minutes to explain this. Maybe if you can bring me back up. You know, this is a conversation that nobody's talking about.
You know, we'll take our first break by 5 o'clock. So when we're done with the headline news, I would reconnect you. Then we'll continue this conversation. So because we're due for our first break in the next 2 minutes, and I know that is not enough time for you to explain these. You're very sincere and you're very, real with the fact that printing more money is something a lot of people don't even want to talk about. So, Mr. Oscar, maybe you can start. Then when we take our first break by 5 o'clock and we'll return, I'll bring you back on the show. So continue.
Okay, that's the point. Let me quickly start. Okay, I mean, we do not need to print the money that we do not need. What I'm telling federal government of Nigeria to do is to look at what we need in terms of production. We lack productive capacity in this country. Our industries are not working, they are moribund. Our manufacturing sector is next to producing nothing. Apart from the fact that we now have the likes of Dangote and other, businesses that are growing to come up and join that space. But these are personal businesses. Government need to introduce a phase, an humble phase into this economic situation that we find ourselves. Maybe you can print the money that there's no regulation. And I've challenged people online. I've challenged economists in Nigeria to come out and tell me. Even I challenged the former Minister of Finance in Nigeria, Dr. Oᴘᴇýᴇᴅᴜ, who I have tremendous respect for, who is my mentor, to come out and tell me where Nigeria would have gone wrong if we print our own currency, which is Naira. China does it all the time. US does it all the time. Russia does it all the time. But nobody hears about this. But Nigeria is hell-bent on looking at what the IMF would think, what the WTO would think if they print more money. We can
because those are the people paying the piper, so they will dictate the tune.
And that's why we're not moving forward. We are using other people's solution to treat ours until we have a localized solution and home-goal solution that will solve our problems. Otherwise, we will never move forward in this country.
Mr. Lionel,
the government would have to put their hands together and print the money that we need.
We're due for our first break.
And put it in people's hands. That's not what I'm saying.
We're due for our first break. One would return from the headline news and quickly pay some bills. I would call you back and then we'll continue this conversation. Then we'll open the phone lines. We've got loads of messages already and I will try and attend to a few of them. So just stay with us while we go on this first break, Mr. Lionel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, I hope you're listening to this conversation. We'll continue on the turn of 5 o'clock. It's Mainland 98.3 FM and this is the Situation Room.
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. INEC opens portal for Ondo Governorship Poll Media Accreditation. NLC confirms Ajaro's arrest, whereabouts unknown and threatened showdown. Tinubu condoles with families of Niger tanker explosion victims. Federal government exempts varsities research grants from Treasury's single account. On the foreign scene, Pope Francis arrives in Timor-Leste amid intensifying calls to address abuse scandal. In sports, slain Ugandan Olympian Rebecca Cheptegei for burial on September 14th. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
The
listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos. Guys, you need to check your NIN status. I cannot say this enough because the next batch of barring will start again soon. I know some of us have submitted our NIN multiple times, but your NIN has not been linked to your lines. Either because your picture on the MTN portal might be different from the one on your NIMC portal, or you got married and changed your name, or another person registered your line for you when you bought it, or you mistakenly used the wrong date of birth, and many other reasons. But don't worry, MTN has made it easier to link your NIN in just 2 minutes from the comfort of your home, office, or while you are on the move. No need to visit MTN office and join the queue. If you use a smartphone, you can visit nin.mtn.ng or dial *996*4# on your MTN line. Just follow the instruction and you are done in under 2 minutes. Remember, barring will start again very soon. Link your NIN to avoid stories that touch. MTN, what are we doing today?
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like ẹ́fọ́, ugu, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
You dey find ways to save your data? You go first start out with your apps. Delete apps wey you no dey use but other things go still dey. Some apps get data saver modes, make you activate them to control the data usage. You fit also go your setting, make you off the auto updates them. Then make you also close apps wey you no dey use to save your data when you no dey use your apps. This small change go fit help you save your data well. For more information, make you go your mobile operator website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for better tips. Make we dey connect and enjoy our data use well. This message dey come from the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators wey join body with the Nigerian Communication Commission.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like ẹ́fọ́, ugu, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
You dey find ways to save your data? You go first start out with your apps. Delete apps wey you no dey use but other things go still dey. Some apps get data saver modes, make you activate them to control the data usage. You fit also go your setting, make you off the auto updates them. Then make you also close apps wey you no dey use to save your data when you no dey use your apps. This small change go fit help you save your data well. For more information, make you go your mobile operator website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for better tips. Make we dey connect and enjoy our data use well. This message dey come from the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators wey join body with the Nigerian Communication Commission.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don come again oh. This one wey your body hot so, you don do test? Yes, see result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people oh. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine wey dey knack down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Thank you Oga Luta. I don dey kampe. Luta, brand of Artemata and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
Guys, you need to check your NIN status. I cannot say this enough because the next batch of barring will start again soon. I know some of us have submitted our NIN multiple times, but your NIN has not been linked to your lines. Either because your picture on the MTN portal might be different from the one on your NIMC portal, or you got married and changed your name, or another person registered your line for you when you bought it, or you mistakenly used the wrong date of birth, and many other reasons. But don't worry, MTN has made it easier to link your NIN in just 2 minutes from the comfort of your home, office, or while you are on the move. No need to visit MTN office and join the queue. If you use a smartphone, you can visit nin.mtn.ng or dial *996*4# on your MTN line. Just follow the instruction and you are done in under 2 minutes. Remember, barring will start again very soon. Link your NIN to avoid stories that touch. MTN, what are we doing today?
Chai, my head oh. Ogala Lord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don't come again oh. This one with your body hot so, you don't do test? Yes, see result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine wey dey knack down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Hey, thank you Oga Luta. I don dey kampe. Luta, brand of Artemata and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Things seems anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, new to build the narrative
Of these people, Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing. We are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join 괶 Akinode as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial. Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you in minutes as we discuss the situations.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on Mainland 98.3 FM. This is the Situation Room, and this program comes up on the airwaves every Mondays to Fridays from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Well, Mr. Sky is still with us. He's been very patient since he went on that break, so that we can continue the conversation. I'm just looking at my screen now and I'm seeing the APC gubernatorial, election campaign rolling in Jatu local government of Edo State. Well, Mainland FM will bringing you everything you need to know about that election. Yes, the 21st of September 2024. That's a few days from here. I will be on ground in Edo State to give you every single update you need to know about that governorship election. It's a key election, by the way, because as against what everyone thought, it's not going to be a 2-horse race. There's the Labour Party conversation in it. Don't forget that Labour Party won the presidential election in the state last year, so never can tell. Maybe Nigerian Bar Association. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation in Edo State. So as we cover the primaries, we'll also cover the governorship election proper. So just to keep your dialogue with us so that you don't miss any of the action. I'm seeing the governorship candidate of the party, Senator Monday Okpebolo. I'm also seeing the former governor of the state and the current senator representing Edo North Senatorial District, Senator Adams Oshiomhole. I'm seeing all of them on the podium right now. The PDP did the same campaign just a few hours ago. It's a big deal. So we'll get it really covered. Mr. Alayinka, thank you for staying with us. Let's get back into the conversation.
Yeah, thank you very much for.
So the question I asked you the other time is this: that what should Nigerians be prepared for? I don't want to sound really bad, but the body language of as the things you listed, you said subsidy must be removed, the government must provide an enabling environment for companies to thrive, especially the old Dangote refinery conversation. Do you think this government has the willpower to fix the problem of petrol in this country? And this is what I mean. Their staff every day reporting to the 3 refineries that we have in this country, and none of those refineries have been able to refine a single barrel of petrol in many years. People are getting promoted, people are writing promotion exam, people are retiring, they are getting millions, they are getting salaries every month from an establishment that is not functional, and the government is not concerned. Trillions of taxpayers' monies have been spent on these refineries over the years, and none of them have worked. Now, the refinery that had come upstream is still having problems. Is this more of an economy somersault, or it's a political war that is going on, Mr. Olayinka Oscar? Let us go on with this, then we'll open the phone lines.
Okay, I mean, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. We're in a country where government don't take issues very, very seriously. I mean, that's part of the problem we are talking about. These are the same staff that will go on the road and say they want increment in salaries and all, and they do nothing, just go to the office and collect money. See, that's part of the problem. It's a big one, but like you said, government has to do 3 things that are very, very germane. The first thing that government needs to do is to find a way to introduce subsidy back to the economy. Subsidy has to come back. I don't know how much I have to emphasize on that. Subsidy would have to return one way or the other. Second thing that we need to do is to find a way to provide a regulatory assistance or guide that would assist Dangote refinery and other modular refineries that are also into that business to thrive. Because we have to ensure that we encourage competitive business environment where businesses can go and expand. So not just Dangote, but find regulations that will best assist government and businesses to thrive in order for it to generate revenue. So we are discussing also, like I've said somewhere before, I said the 3 most biggest 3 inadequate revenue. In 2021-2022, federal government of Nigeria repaid loans with 93% of our total revenue. Now, do I agree that is maladministration? Yes, 100%. I don't even know how they make sense of that. Our loan has to be repaid. We are taking this loan, whether we squandered it, we stole it, or whatever that happened to that loan through corruption. We
have to pay back.
So repaying those rentals are very, very germane to our economic development. Also, so we have to repay. Now in 2024, the first quarter of 2024, report asking that about 2.9 to 3.1 trillion naira was used to repay loans, representing about 74% of the total revenue generated by government. Now, I've also argued that the federal government is not generating enough in terms of revenue. We can't be doing 1.3 trillion as revenue of country of 125 million people annually. It's wrong. I feel like government should do more. Now, when I say government should do more, I don't mean that government should do the same thing that Tinubu is doing right now. Increasing VAT, putting more tax on businesses, multiple taxes on businesses, trying to stifle out businesses, killing MSMEs every day. And federal government of Nigeria is running this economy at the expense of the people and small businesses. They are generating more revenue. This is counterproductive for the economy. And you want to ask the question that why will government generating so much money and we still return to come and ask for deficit and budget deficit financing? It doesn't make sense. Generate money from taxes, generate money from levies. We should be having a conversation about surplus. But what we have is hyperinflation, and we are going into stagflation now. Stagflation is what we are looking at. I just pray that we don't slip into depression in this country. But I know that before we get to depression, the people will revolt against the government. Because people won't be able to take this anymore. So what we need to do, let's go back to our conversation that we had earlier. We have to find the money. Government need to find the money. The current state of Nigeria economy will suggest that government can print and should print more money in order to meet our needs. They have to print moderately. And I want our listeners to come up with questions. Let them come up with, this is a very, very new monetary policy system that I want CBN to listen to and to work on. It is not my problem on how CBN will fight inflation. It is not my problem. It is their function. That's just like we are saying, we are talking about NFTC doing nothing and getting fast salaries. CBN and their staff should start looking at how to bring the inflation down. They need to do research, spend money on research to see what they can do. We have to be able to print money moderately to revolutionize our the infrastructural sector and finance our industry for production and to to meet our consumption needs. We can keep the taxes high for big businesses and corporates and avoid imposing more taxes, more levies on small businesses, MSMEs that are trying to grow. We can print more money, allow middle class people to survive, let them breathe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olayinka Oscar. I have loads of messages here to take on our WhatsApp, on our Facebook. The calls are coming in, but I'll try and pick as many messages as I can read, and also, I'll put in the calls in between. Okay. This one says, what do you expect? Okay, no, this is not false. Okay, this one says, what do you expect from the Dangote refinery? The same way the imported rice and other imported goods are mostly cheaper than homegrown rice and others. It is in our blood to take advantages of opportunities on people. That is Tunde from Ijegun. Okay. This one says, look, let me tell you the truth. Our study of events have shown that the Dangote refinery is an appendage of the NNPC Limited, and Nigerians are in a pot of soup, and this pot is being hot, one will burn throughout the remaining existence of the oil sector. Nigerians have forgotten how Dangote, from frustration, went coming into operation, asked the NNPC to buy out in order for him to survive. Thereafter, in a meeting with the presidency and the NNPC management, the terms of trade of NNPC being the only buyer, supplier, and sole price determining entity was reached. Okay, that's a long one. While both the NNPC and Dangote refinery remain private entities, they are now a group. NNPC Limited is the parent company and major owner of Dangote refinery as a subsidiary. I don't think so. Tuchukwu Adele from Obanikoro. Thank you very much, by the way, for your message. This one is Steve from Ijaniki. He says, so Dangote refinery is just an extension of the failed NNPC Limited. It's okay. The real deal about the oil palaver is getting clearer by the day. Confusion and insincerity is loading. The so-called NNPC Limited is an arm twisting Dangote and is afraid of saying the truth about their real ordeal. You should start by asking them if the same Dangote 4 they said is low of quality will be the one that NNPC want to get supplied, or have the quality just changed all of a sudden? They are never tired of blaming and making excuses for the monumental failure in governance. With increased suffering and pain, the people are dying like flies, yet it is continuous propaganda. Let everyone who is serious be ready to get into the street. That is Steve from Ijaniki. Okay. This is Achogba Solomon from Ikeja. He says, anyone who claims to believe Tinubu, NNPC Limited, and even Dangote must have witnessed creation. The only thing Nigeria will likely benefit from the refinery is the employment of some Nigerians, just like the cement factory and the rest, though Dangote has been part of them. When he wanted to open the cans of worm that would have opened up everything, they succeeded in reaching a compromise to continue to keep Nigerians in the dark. Concerning the mysterious oil sector, Nigerians are now hoping and praying for PMS to drop to around 400 or 500. The reality is this: Nigerians will be getting PMS at the very far above 1,000 naira, which is going to be the cheapest on any radio station. On printing of naira, there's a lot of 2024 mint in circulation already. We saw it coming. Only the myopic, gullible, and that's not kind. But thank you very much, by the way. This one says, on printing of money, I'm not an economist, so I cannot pronounce authoritatively on the consequences of printing new notes. However, while the ideal is appealing, I think it may worsen things if the extra money will be chasing foreign goods. And that's Akin Adigun from Iyanokpaja. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me pick your calls. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello. Oh. Okay, try and call us 0913-600-0410. Let us see how many of your calls we will be able to pick on the show today. Hello, good evening. Your name? Oh, your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Prince from Ojo.
Prince, 1 minute, let's go on.
Okay, my friend. Let me say it loud and clear. You have been doing a very great job.
Thank you.
Good for the studio and the nation Nigeria. I love your painstaking efforts to educate us on the current events. But let me say, I'm a development consultant, and I feel I have cognate industry experience as a banker and oil company executive. When I speak, government officials should listen to me. We are not babblers. It is not the work of central bank to revive the economy. It doesn't have that capacity. What will revive the economy is production. And government has to provide the enabling environment for production to hold true. There must be energy, that is petroleum products, at affordable prices. And there must be light. These are the factors that make up enabling environment for production to thrive. Central bank would not print millions of billions of naira to revive the economy. No amount of policy will do it. It is not an executive order of fiat that will change the economy. It is production.
Thank you.
And government is not creating the environment for
production to thrive.
Killing it every day. See, leadership in Nigeria has reached a boiling point that only peace or revolution will bring back our country.
Thank you.
You see, thank you. I have a lot to say.
I know. We're really pressed for time. I want to try and pick as much calls as I can pick. 0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening.
I got through again this evening.
You're welcome. Chief, 1 minute.
Yes, the problem we have, I've been sharing it on different platforms, that Nigeria has been judged by the it's not even local cabal, international cabal with their Nigerian saboteurs. And the name of Nigeria, I think they said they are changing from to be known as Draconian Capitalist Republic.
No. I'm not going to take that. Not on this platform and not on anywhere close to me. The only name that this entity called Nigeria will be called will remain the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We'll have our challenges, but we'll keep going. Hello, good evening.
Oh, good evening.
You're welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Yeah, I apologize. See, this is Gege Joshua calling from Busemeta. I'm worried, and my worry is because one, I can feel there is a particular conspiracy between Dangote and the federal government, or let me say the NNPC, to frustrate Nigerians more. You understand? Of course, I know Dangote has the right to relate with anybody because one, this is personal business, not just Nigerian government, not Nigerian government business. But then, at least we the other time when they were frustrating him, we Nigerians, we were like, oh no, now why will you do this to Dangote? Why will you? You can see that the same person you were crying for is now has agreed to conspire with NNPC to frustrate us with pricing. You understand?
Thank you.
Because where do we go from here? No one knows.
Thank you. I wish we had enough time, for us to go on this conversation. But Mr. Olayinka, we have 2 minutes to call it a day on the show. And give me your final, your parting shots. You've, brought in some conversation here, but you made 2 key issues. tried to return subsidy into the system and print new Naira notes. But somebody said there are already a lot of 2024 notes in circulation. Where do we go from here? In about 90 seconds, let's say our goodbyes.
Okay, let me quickly add that CBN prints money all the time, so that's not even a problem. So you keep seeing 2024 Naira notes circulation. And the person that said, I thought one of our callers said CBN does not have power to regulate the economy. If it's truly an economist, then you will know that CBN has the power to control price. Price stability, interest rate determination, exchange rate transmission, foreign direct investment, supporting emerging business and the economic sector. All those things are part of the activities of the monetary policy side of the economy. But what I was expecting to serve as expert is to identify the difference between the fiscal policy side, which is the Ministry of Finance, headed by the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, then the CBN governor, which is the monetary side. So both of them work hand in hand to ensure that the economy moves fast. But none of them can work in isolation without each other. So what can be done immediately is to first return subsidy, if not 100%. The good thing is we know who we are paying subsidy to now. You understand? We can account for how much we are paying in subsidies, and we can account for how much barrel of subsidies are we paying to subsidize Nigerians. Then on the third issue that I mentioned about the taking of money, well, you would ask yourself, why do we need deficit, and why do we come for budget deficit every year? You ask yourself, has there been a time when the Nigerian economy go into surplus? Have we ever had surplus budgeting in this country? I'm sure people have problems with inflation, but when the time is right, we will be able to call the right number of inflation that we want, using different theories, whether the Marxist theory, the kinetic theory, all other neoclassical theories.
Thank you, Mr. Olayinka. I'll have to let you go now. We'll keep this conversation going. Maybe before the end of the week, I could have you come back on the show. It seems we have a lot to talk about. Thank you very much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, the show returns tomorrow at 4 p.m. Stick around by 5:30 for the full bulletin, and by 6 o'clock I will return for Sport Cruise live on Mainland 98.3 FM. Thank you for being a part of the production today. Stay safe.